Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decayed Andy, and I'm joined this week by the man who has a dark interior motif that was once a demon. It is Mikey G. Wolf V3. Hello, Mikey.
Now I'm a bird.
Now you're a bird. It's a better design, at least.
Yeah, works a lot better. We'll get to it later. Works a lot better in motion than it did in promos.
Still don't love it, but it's a lot better than live. A lot better.
Yeah, no,
a lot better.
Don't like the jingle. Don't like the jingle.
No. Yes. Holy.
Stop! Shut up! This isn't. I get the point, but stop it. We get it. We're using Crow as Angel. We're using albino Crow as Angel.
I like the idea. I like the idea that they should have got like an Irish priest to say those lines. Holy. Jesus, child.
Holy life, Jesus Christ Almighty.
We have yet to have an Irish priest as a Kamen Rider.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh, no, that would be like a super sinister villain.
Yeah.
That would be like, he just shows up and everyone's like, who are you? Ah, konnichiwa. And all he does is say really, like, showed up in Godzilla movies, we all learned 5 Japanese words things.
Oh, totally.
Irish and he wouldn't learn your language.
You know, his suit design would be like Ix's as well.
Yeah. Or he'd speak English all the time and just have subtitles.
Oh, no, I'd be down with that. I see him kind of looking... How far did you get through Berserk, the manga? Did you get too far?
Not huge distance.
Oh, you didn't see the priest dude then? Okay, because
no.
There was a priest dude who had a really wide chin who killed someone by hitting them with the Bible and crushing their skull. Which is pretty intense.
I'm just picturing that priest guy from Hellsing.
I don't think it's the same guy.
No, I'm not. But for the writer guy, the Irish, because I think he's supposed to be Irish.
You might be right.
I think he's supposed to be like a proper paddy.
There you go. That's what the priest looks like.
You can't say that. I can say that.
Okay. Why am I not allowed to say that? That's discrimination.
Wow, that's a very square head.
Yes, he's got a very square nose too. Very flat.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be revealed as a golem.
He was not. No, he was a person. He was. The reason his face was so flat was because to pay penance, you know how they'd prostate. You know, get on your hands and knees. He'd slam his face into the ground quite a lot.
So what? Did he used to look like Keanu Reeves and then just went bang 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 bang?
Yeah, I think he was still a bit of an ugly shit, but just slamming your face into the ground would smooth it out, shall we say?
He looks like he should be in Battle Angel Alita. Because I have read all that manga. God. That manga went from like this really intellectual thing to a 5-year tournament.
I mean, that sounds about right.
Which kind of destroyed the pace. That's not how you use a Bible.
Why? He says you pagans and crushes a dude's skull with a book?
It's not that heavy.
Oh, it is. It is when he's hitting you with it.
Yeah, he's fine anyway. He'll get better.
He's fine. He just needs more. He just needs Jesus. That's clearly what he needed.
He just jumps up and says, "I found Jesus."
He's got a big old dent in his head, but he's found God, so it's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Hi everybody. We're here to talk about Transformers this week. Again, we're light on the cards for Transformers news. There are a few little nippets and things to tweak and harden as it goes. But are you doing well, Mikey? Has the week been okay for you so far?
I'm okay.
Good. Well, we may as well jump into it with Magic Square, as Magic Square is doing the MS-B31 Detective. It is not the detective who you'd hope it would be. It is Hound.
Who are you hoping for?
Well, I don't know, like the actual detective from Japan, who is a girl.
Oh, that... I was going I thought you were going to say Nightbeat, and I was just
no, fuck that. No, I don't like
Nightbeat. You want Detective Nightbeat.
Yeah, I want Detective Nightbeat. The good Nightbeat.
Remember, Detective Nightbeat is evil. So Detective Nightbeat is basically evil Shatterglass Nightbeat, but with a trench coat that she is not wearing enough under.
I'm confused.
I'm not complaining.
I was going to say, is this meant to be like a no-no? I don't know.
No, I want her now as well. I want someone to do an action figure. The closest you can get is You can get that really bad Minerva action figure from a few years ago.
Oh, who was it by? Yeah, because
that was by the CSM, I think.
Was it them? Because I remember they did Jinrai as well. They did
Yeah.
Jinrai and Minerva in 2 colors, and that was it.
I remember because it is the guys who did all those Go Gaigar and Mecha figures that everyone was like, I really want that character. Not from you.
No,
Not from
yeah. It's weird that they never did like the 2 characters who you thought at least they do, like Giga and Mega, right? You would have thought
that would
like
make
you
sense.
do them.
That would make sense.
We still have yet to have like any physical representations of Giga or Mega. And why do I say those 2 specifically? Because they have the most interesting outfits, both in armor and out of armor. I don't know even how you describe Giga's outfit. Kind of like a demon samurai, maybe like Nobunaga from Onimusha. Almost.
Yeah, no, I'd say that's fair. She's basically a witch.
Yeah, she's just a witch with a low-cut top and a weird hat, and that's it.
And no underwear on.
No.
Because that is not possible with that slip.
No, that's fine, though, It means she can go to the toilet easily, so that's good.
Yes, but her hugging the tiny cancer is probably going to raise eyebrows.
It's a tad. No, unfortunately, this figure is Hound, who I would, again, describe never as a detective. Not once have I been... I'd call him maybe a projectionist.
So he works in the cinema?
Yeah, well, he makes holograms.
So he works in the cinema?
A few times. Yeah, well, why? There's nothing wrong with working in the cinema.
You know who I'm not going to trust to solve my crimes?
Oh, yeah.
The guy who uploads from the USB.
Yeah, well, do you remember his plan to, trick the Decepticons and get Ravage? And it was I'll drop the key, and you know what? Ravage knew. And it was a terrible plan, and it was Hound's plan. Yeah,
like you got outthought by a cat.
Yeah, exactly, you idiot. What a moron. Magic Square, they're doing this figure. I don't think he comes with it. This is a new take on G1 Hound for the competitive legend scale market. I'm going to question what the article writer meant by a new take, as it seems to be G1. I guess
company.
Yeah, it's a new transformation, but I wouldn't say it's a new take. In my mind, a new take would be, newly designed. He doesn't look like G1, but never mind.
This is just a new lot doing another Hound.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. This figure's very cartoon accurate with a nice range of posability and a solid compact robot mode. All packaged in a small scale. Wow, they're really stretching this out. He's
short, Andy. Did you know he's short?
He is small. It will include a cage for Ravage and a key, not Ravage himself though, and Hound's weapons from the show plus a holographic ray, which is just like a cylindrical translucent cone, which is fine. It doesn't look the best. It's a bit on the thick side, but I guess probably for the shape it is, the thicker makes it more secure, but I wouldn't say it looks amazing. He comes with a cage and the key. It's just fine. I guess that's like an item that Hounds have to come with in this day and age. He can fit into what I assume is the Magic Square Optimus Prime trailer. It looks like it's a bit of a squeeze, but it looks like he can get in there. It'd probably be easier if you take his shoulder-mounted gun off. It'll probably fit in a little bit better. Yeah. But apart from that, we also have some really, really zoomed-in shots that I don't think. I don't think they were. I think they were done by other people because they are blurry. I think they're just the stock photos just zoomed in.
I can't tell. No, it kind of feels like they were trying to saying Ravage isn't in this set, so we're never going to let him be in focus. But that's weird.
Maybe.
It feels I don't think this is zoomed in. I think whoever took these just had weird fucking focus. I had a weird approach to focus.
No.
There's one especially that is absolutely zoomed in.
Yeah, 16 and 17 you can tell, images 16 and 17 you can tell zoomed in because they don't even have the magic square bit at the bottom, so someone did the editing, whether it was them or whether it was somebody else. And I don't see what the purpose was because the blurriness washes out any detail on the face. Regardless, either way.
Why does he have removable tires? That just hit me.
I'm guessing they're probably rubber, so maybe they give you additional rubber wheels just in case they break in time.
Oh no!
What?
What if that's the transformation? You have to take off his wheels.
Oh, let's have a look at the robot mode.
Because I see no wheels.
No, the wheels are on the back of his feet.
But are the tire are okay.
The
So the
tires
tires
are
are
there.
so you
Yeah.
just have extra tires. Okay.
Yeah. Well, at least 2 of them are on the back. I don't know whether the front. I assume the front 2 are underneath the bonnet of the chest. So yeah, I'd like to. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that they're there because they know rubber wheels explode into dust in time. What do you think of the overall look of Hound, though? I think he looks fine. You know, it looks like Hound.
Looks good. He looks good in all honesty. I think he looks pretty posable. The transformation looks pretty solid because he really doesn't look like he transforms, and that's not easy to pull off at this scale. Some stuff I would have liked, like genuinely, I think if he'd come with like a 2D, slightly translucent, plastic stand things, what you call them?
Oh yeah. Like a standee or something. I don't know what.
A standee of the big robot he projected in that one episode.
Yeah, that could be a nice and I would imagine fairly cheap accessory to make. Surely.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, like I don't want a full plastic thing. I just want just a little see-through thing. I think it would be nice.
And to be fair, like you saying it should be 2D as well makes sense because it's meant to be like a holographic image, and you could just have him stood behind it. It doesn't need to be fully 3D. You're right.
I genuinely think he should come with Ravage.
I'm assuming the Ravage has already came with another figure, probably a Soundwave. So,
I would include it as a slight repaint, like a slightly different shade of black.
Oh,
or
do
like
Glit?
That.
No, do Glit.
Yeah. He's kidnapped Glit. That would be hilarious.
There you go.
Just like you don't come out because you want to meme. Let me meme. But no, he looks solid in all honesty. I mean, I'm amused by the fact in that Optimus picture where he's coming out of the trailer, Prime seems to have jackknifed for some reason. But overall, I think he looks pretty decent. He looks very posable for the scale, which I'm impressed by.
I agree. I think this would be a better repaint into whatever the Decepticon version is, who I always forget the name of.
Detritus.
Yeah, I always will forget his name.
Because he's a Junkion. He's a Junkion. They do him as a Junkion.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because it's just a Hound repaint. Is he really a Junkion?
Yeah, because he's an E-Hobby.
That's stupid. I just thought he was a Decepticon. It's not. I believe he. It's just that's dumb.
I'm double checking. Like
evil
I know
guy.
It's Detritus, but I think he's a Junkion. I'm going to double check that.
Either way, I've always liked that color scheme more. It's always been pretty good.
E-Hobby exclusive Detritus or Detritus.
Detritus.
It is a really nice. Yeah, Junkion. He's a Junkion who became an Autobot who became a Decepticon.
Wow, what a journey.
He also became Roadmaster in the United X fiction.
Oh, fair enough. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next bit of legendary news?
Legendary news, he got a little tiny man. So this is actually quite neat. New Age Toys have revealed this is mislabeled.
Yes.
This is labeled as cartoon accurate. This is actually the US Marvel Megatron.
Yes.
You labeled it wrong. You have failed. Marvel's comic G1 Megatron.
The closest I could give it to is, do you remember the pre-designed Megatron that got put into animation once? Where he had the weird head?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that color scheme because he was mostly black, like his legs and head. But maybe that's what that meant. I don't know.
But yeah, this is their Agamemnon mold, which we've seen a few times already, repainted into a very metallic version of the G1 Marvel comics, which the biggest difference is he's got a blue, everything that would be black is blue. Because back then, you couldn't actually use black. Because of how shading worked, which is why Grimlock's head was blue in a lot of stuff.
And it's why the shading on Venom in the cartoon was, for some reason, it was terribly done, but he had blue lines around him.
He always had like blue lines on one side and red lines on the other.
Yeah, it made no sense.
I've been trying to figure that out for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this mold got reused a lot into various different characters, but so this isn't anything new, but he comes with the usual accessories. So he comes with 3 pairs of hands, a swappable face, one like neutral and one blah with yellow eyes, a tiny mace, a stock, and an silencer for his gun mode, key to Vector Sigma, that tiny gun he murdered Optimus with, and a orange ball, which I do not know what that's from.
Nor do I.
I will check if the orange ball is referencing anything.
Maybe it's like a literal orange.
Okay, so it's shown up in other versions. I'm literally going back through the Agamemnon stuff to find out if it means anything.
I'm sure it's something. It surely has to be something. I can't think what it is either, to be honest.
I've never... Oh, Toy Extra Red part.
It's a
Yeah,
Terry's
great.
chocolate orange for Megatron. He's always wanted one.
I've no idea. I've genuinely no idea what that is.
No.
So if anyone does, let me know. But overall, I think he looks really nice. He's kind of in the same vein as that comic, not really comic because it's actually more toy Galvatron to me. Which is becoming my favorite version of standard Galvatron in terms of color scheme. Just because
The grey one.
the gray with the very pale gray. Because he tends to have a lot more color on him. And I'm getting kind of tired of seeing, I'm purple, I'm purple, I'm purple, I'm purple. You're all purple. We get
Well, I guess it's also just because it's nice to see something, even though it's not super different, it's a little different from just the solid stuff that we're used to, I guess.
Yeah, and this, the metallic sheen, I think, is actually quite nice in this.
It is.
He looks very poseable. Like I said, this is a figure we've seen many, many times before already.
Sure.
The worst part about him is he has skinny legs, but hey-ho, they're gun handles. What do you think about how he turned out, Andy?
This is not the real Agamemnon.
Who is Andy, the real Agamemnon?
It's the ship from Babylon 5. Sheridan's ship.
Well, I haven't... Oh, God, now I wanted to do a Transformer of that.
Right? Because that's a good ship design.
Yeah.
So when you said Agamemnon, because I hadn't read what the name was, I was like, that's not Babylon 5. Oh, what a shame.
Oh, dear.
Otherwise, yeah, it's just like, hey, it's the Megatron figure again, just a slightly different coloured version, and it feels like we've had a lot over the months, years, however long this figure's been announced, and keeps coming out, and Megatrons in general come out. I'm shocked the Hasbro hasn't done this colour scheme for like the War for Cybertron trilogy Megatron tank mold yet.
Yeah, I am actually genuinely shocked. I'm also shocked they haven't done a Golden Lagoon from that, but...
Well, speaking on that, Mikey.
Yeah, oh, yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, so New Age have also announced H27G, David, which is their Optimus, and this is the Optimus who has the cheating chest with the 4 lights in it. Once you realize what's going on, that's really distracting.
Oh my god! Yeah, you're right. Jesus,
which is an overall good toy from everything I've seen, but it's still really weird. And yeah, so this is a Golden Lagoon version, so it's an all gold, chromy looking one. In this case, they've gone with metallic gold paint. And just like a lot of these Golden Lagoon figures, he's also got this mustard brown for some of the plastic, which I'm assuming is it's the plastic you handle a lot, which I always find weird.
At least in the promo images, I will say that it seems like a lot more consistent. It's not like some versions where every joint will have the non-metallic-y part. Most of this, I'd say, is generally metallic, which is quite nice.
Yep. And accessory-wise, he comes with pointing hands, open hands, fists, matrix, a gun, and a golden roller, and an axe.
Yep.
Which they haven't really done in.
Oh, and a trailer.
And a box. But hey, I'm sure you're all very excited by his box. But yeah, so there's plenty of versions of this toy out there right now. So this is, for me, this would be the least interesting version, but I actually think it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It looks it looks better than a lot of official Golden Lagoon things and a lot of third-party Golden Lagoon things. So yeah, I'm a fan. I like it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's Golden Lagoon, so it's just like it's gold in it. Yeah. Shall I take us on? Because what else we're going to say there, right?
Take us on, Eddie.
Yeah, we got some more official images of the Good Smile Nendroid G1 Starscream. Excuse me, and we've gotten a pre-order date for it. Pre-orders are going to be the 7th of March, so they're up now, I guess, to the 6th of April, unless they sell out. It's going to be the usual standard Nendroid price, so $54.99 US, depending on where you're going for places, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec.
Oh, okay. We see what he come with. He seems to come with a stand. He comes with 2 extra faces and an extra few hands. I say few because he's got closed hands, he's got open hands, and then he's got more of a slight open hand gestured hand, like, here is my dining room carpet. Isn't it amazing? That kind of like he's showing you a very fancy car, that kind of open hand design.
I've just installed a chandelier.
Yes, have you seen it? It's very distinguished. I like how one of the images looks like he is doing a jazz from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. being thrown out the mansion. He's going, ah! The other face is... Hang on, does he have two faces?
He has two faces. He does. He's only got two faces.
Oh, no, he only has two. I thought he had three.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has smirky face and face.
I can tell you what was throwing me off. Because of the angle of the Scream face, if you look further down, you can see into it, and he's got bottom row of teeth. And in some shots, because they're slightly up-angled, you can't see those teeth, so I thought they were two different ones. Yeah.
I did. Oh, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see them, can't you? But you can only see them from certain angles of shots. It's weird.
That's weird.
It is weird. Do you have any good thoughts on the Nendroid, Mikey? You sounded a little bit hesitant when I mentioned the price. You weren't like, "Oh yeah," you're more like, "Ew."
When I think about what you get with a standard Nendroid,
you mean a lot more?
A lot more.
Generally speaking.
A lot more generally. This is underwhelming to me by quite a margin. And before someone says like, well, it's not, typical Bandai license, everything else, like, Nendroid does stuff that Bandai doesn't usually license. They have to purchase the license.
That's the weird thing, right? Because I can't... is the licensing for Transformers that high?
I'm just like... Man, there's so many little funny things you could stick in with a Starscream. And not just like from G1, but you could pick some stuff like, the different Starscream from all the years. Let's give him something representing two or three different ones. Give him a tiny girl to guilt him.
Give him a tiny plush Bumblebee.
Yeah! Oh, no, give him a standee of a see-through Bumblebee that's just following him around.
Yeah.
And, like, he needs to come with a head that's just like, shut up! I'm just, like, these Transformer Nendroids are, like, so almost my thing. And then they look too much like every chibi Transformer thing you could have gotten over the years.
Yeah, there's been lots of third-party companies that have done stuff like this, and it doesn't seem like it's really gone beyond that at all in any stretch. This
really feels like you're buying it because it says Nendoroid, and Nendoroid has a rep.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's fair. If you want to guarantee quality, you'll get it with a good smile, so...
Yeah, it's just, to me, like, I'd rather just get a different Nendroid.
I was going to say, you want a bit more, don't you?
I want a bit more. Yeah. I want to feel like the money's there, and I do not feel like the money's there at 55 for this.
Yeah. It really. I'm guessing the thing that maybe the reason why the budget's different on this is because there's less similar parts. Because generally, aren't the bodies pretty similar-ish for the most part?
Yeah, like
maybe that's the reason.
Most of the bodies are female, and the general approach is to, like, at least, like, the idea is that you could take a Nendroid from, say, Gridman and put it on the head of someone from Lucifer, the game, or whatever. Or there's some Hell game that just gotten a bunch of Nendroids. And you can swap face parts and everything else, and if you got, like, you could get the Miko and give her a face, like, a Sakura Miko one, and you give her a face like she's screaming because she's after murdering someone, and just like, I can make this work.
Yeah, so maybe that's the reason why the Transformer ones are more, because obviously everything on them is completely uniquely molded for them. So that's just a guess, though. I don't know.
It's very possible, and it's also like, it also really limits the interactivity, because, like, basically it can be repainted into some Seekers. And so they are not getting a ton of money out of this in long term. They're going to have, like, probably a single run that they're going to sell, and then they're probably going to do at least repaints of Starscream. I would be shocked if we don't get a Nemesis Prime at least.
It would be weird, because every company does at least one repaint.
Yep.
It'd be shocking if they didn't do at least one.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's alright.
It's
like, I want to love it. I do. I really do, but I just can't.
Well, Mikey, TFcon happened this weekend, or at some point over the week. I don't know when. You tell me.
TFcon.
You told me that a lot of new things were announced, and when I looked at it, I went, it looked like a few things. Like, help me. Tell me what new things were announced, and we'll give you our thoughts on what was announced at TFcon Los Angeles.
Okay, so first up, Banana Force have fully revealed MPL-04P. Now, they've teased this before, but this is our first full look at their non-transforming God Jinrai figure. So,
it's
for
been
anyone
ages since we've talked about Banana Force, hasn't it?
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't remember Banana Force, they do non-transforming Transformer third parties. I recently saw a review of their G1/RID one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
By Mr. Jobby the Hunk, and it looks really good. It's not his cup of tea because he's a nerd and he just like let go of the transforming thing. But you know, I'll just like throw a brick at him and get him to agree with me. But this is a very stylized version of God Jinrai. Comes with arm cannons and a big ass gun and the wing pack and everything you'd expect from God Jinrai. I think this looks pretty cool. I do think I love stylization. I liked previous Banana Force. The style is not quite my thing. But I do still like it. It's just like, this is one that like I wouldn't rush out to get, but it's also when I was just like, no, it looks good. I just wouldn't rush out to get it.
That's
not
fair.
me.
Yeah.
What do you think of Mandy?
Again, it's not a style that I would go for. I'm glad to hear that generally, when you mentioned Jobby got one, it didn't sound like he hated it. So I'm guessing the quality on it's good, which is great. I guess this would make a good desk toy for someone who didn't want a transforming God Jinrai. So that's good. And wanted it a bit more Super Robot stylish, and then with a bit of Transformers movie extra greebly details to it. Yeah, it looks fine. There's not a huge amount to it in terms of like images, and we don't get to see a huge amount of the accessories. He has a gun. He has his shoulder gun as well. We only see one pair of hands, so it'll be interesting to see later on down the line if it does come with extra stuff or if this is it.
Yeah, no, definitely. But they do, like, Banana Force have, like, shown, okay, we do quality. We have a certain, like, standard we hit, and, that means they've at least got the rep now starting to build up. The next one is from, what's this company called? HTB Toys, Half Battle Toys. Not at all related to G.I. Joe. Now, some of this they've hinted at before, but this is our first time seeing, like, full designs and stuff like that. And one of which is an art piece by no one we know. No one we know drew this art.
Yeah.
One we know whoever drew this has never been involved in Transformers in an official capacity and will not be named because absolutely not officially done by someone we know who did a Transformers officially.
And I've never not had issue with their artwork before.
But taking that into account, and it's rather fortuitous given, 2 weeks ago. His Tank Soundwave, which is a pretty, like, looking at the robot design, I like it. It's kind of a slimmed down Soundwave replacing the tape deck with the cockpit of the His Tank, and it looks like he turns into a His Tank, not a tape deck.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he goes from one mode to the other. I don't think it's super well drawn as usual, but I think it is, like, in terms of a design, it works for Soundwave being a His Tank. I guess you could go with the question: should Soundwave be a His Tank, or would it be cooler to make him something else and give the His Tank to say some like Megatron, like the iconic vehicle for G.I. Joe is a tank, so maybe give that to Megatron. I don't know. Either way, I think it's a lot more impactful in terms of a design. I like the fact that his shins are clearly the tank treads. Like you said, the cockpit is clearly his chest. It all seems to work.
All visually. Logical. All not trapped by trying to be a design this was not meant to be.
Yes.
And I like that the His Tank's cannons are Soundwave's cannons.
Yeah, it's his gun and his shoulder thingy as well. It works. Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's a nice one. And may come with a Shiny Ball Man and a Mook, who will remain nameless.
Well, that's just a His Tank driver. It's no one special.
Yeah, it's a Mook.
Yeah.
But they also revealed images of what looks to be a Hound out of a G.I. Joe Vamp, which looks very prototypey and has some weird stuff going on with the wheels. I don't know what I think about this. One thing that's definitely throwing me out is what the feet look like from the side.
I'm not a big fan of the head design either. There's a lot about this design where it looks like... No, this isn't to offend anyone. It looks like someone's first attempt of doing a 3D printed figure.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
It doesn't look like it's been molded or sculpted desperately well. I'm hoping that these things will be kind of cleaned up as we go.
Yeah. The feet make me a little nervous, though. They don't look right. Like, from the side, it looks like you've got a lot of flaps and slides and hinges and things, and that makes me think, oh, these are going to be very reliant on stable joints and stable tolerances.
Yeah. And it looks like if we're talking about that, it looks like the foot flap for the front of the foot looks like it'll be a metal pin, which is a little bit concerning.
Yep. That can go very badly. Vehicle mode is only visible in like a couple of shots, and they're not very good. But hey, it does. One thing I do like. These do look like they are meant to fit 3 3/4 inch figures.
Yes, so it's doing what the Hasbro figure did, but it's doing it with a more interesting design aesthetic. Because even though I don't think the Hound looks great, if this is hopefully this isn't the finished version. Hopefully they'll keep tweaking the design to make it look a bit better. But at least it is like, oh yeah, okay, that's Hound, but it's Hound as a G.I. Joe vehicle. It's not Hound transforming and looking like he should be the G1 version. It's exactly what we wanted. I just like a little bit more quality given to it in terms of the design for the final version, I guess.
The next one they're doing, these are produced by half the Battle Toys, designed by Lockdown's Trophy Case, with final design and color may vary, available at tinyurl.com/HTBETZ. These are nanobots, and I think these are completely new. So these are listed as 6mm to 40mm tall micropiece action masters full of detail and fun. So these are slightly cartoonized versions of the G1 models, sort of squished down into posable little microfigures. Some of the figures less posable than others. I certainly like the idea of this. I haven't decided how I feel about these particular iterations, but I like the idea a lot. Like, I'm slightly terrified how much these will cost.
Why do you like the idea of this? Because it feels like the world's smallest Transformers, but we wanted to go even smaller. And it's like, why do we keep going? Is this to make ourselves distinguished from the other kind of legendary scaled, micromastery scaled kind of figures? It's like, what if we go even smaller?
I don't think these transform for one.
I can't imagine
to me, I like the idea of tiny, cartoonized, squished little desk toys. I do. I just do. It's just an aesthetic that pleases me as a human being.
Okay.
I think the faces in these turn... I think the bodies are a little bit not squashed enough, and I think the faces look a little odd in some shots, but we'll go through them each and see what we got. So first up is Megatron. He's going to be 40mm tall with 14 points of articulation. He seems pretty normal. He's just got kind of a really broad face with a little smirk. Then we have Starscream, who looks sad. Literally. He's slightly short, he's 35mm tall. He has a gurn for a grin is all I can call it, and his eyes look slightly like droopy and like, oh, it's like he's smiling because he knows he's about to be punched. And he comes with a little chibi gun. He's called Star Crown. So the first one, Mega Strong, and then Star Crown. Any thoughts on Mega Strong and then Star Crown? Star Crown has very big toes.
Yeah, the Megatron, like you say, might be the best out of all of them. Starscream looks fine. I think, unfortunately, generally, my opinion on most of these is, then they're 100% not for me. And I think they'll look better in person purely on the basis that because these are like promo images, they'll be a very, very close-up representation of how big they are. And I think obviously when you just have it on your desk and you're looking at it from far away, any of the issues you might have won't be quite as noticeable. As long as the quality control is there for the joints, I think that is the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up is Mind Warp Sizzler. I'm just going to go through all these guys at once. Acid Rain, Bossa Nova, and Thundercracker's there as well, but he's not listed and named. So these are the Seekers. So it is.
Why are they all sad?
Yeah, that's the that's what I kind of like about these. So it's Skywarp, one of the Rainmakers, or one of the he's a background Seeker at some point. Acid Storm and Sunstorm, who is Bossa Nova. And they basically have Starscream's face, but with the face, the mouth upturned. So now or downturned rather. So now instead of like gurning, they're like. So next up we have a Reflector. Quick. Snapshot, Quick Shot, and Headshot, who are the Reflector Trio, 2 of which are identical.
No.
One of which is identical, but with a little chest piece, and I'm just like, come on, guys. At least you like the toy.
Each
At least
sold
don't try
separately.
at least say you're selling the same thing twice. Don't try to say they're like, no, we're selling them individually. So they're 29 millimeters tall.
I always like Quick Shot a lot more than Snapshot. He's always
Really?
been my favorite.
I mean, yeah, he's such a better character.
He is.
For some reason, Soundwave isn't pictured with the named ones, but he is in there.
Yeah, it's weird.
And he just looks like a little Soundwave. One that isn't pictured with the main one, Obstruction, which is Barricade.
I like him. He looks really
he's
good,
my
actually.
favorite.
Yes.
He's my favorite. I love the little pink head press.
The colors work
favorite.
ridiculously well. It's a shame that he's just a repaint of Prowl, but I guess that's what he's been reduced to now at this point.
But I get him before Prowl, so...
agreed, yeah.
He's so teeny. He looks so and he also looks really sad.
Yes.
We also get Savage, Buzzsaw Oriole, I don't get that one. Cardinal, that's probably Cardinal Finch, for Laserbeak, who... The 3 of them, Ravage looks incredibly simple.
Mm-hmm.
Laserbeak and Buzzsaw. I'm really hoping none of these 3 are sold individually. I'm really hoping they're not sold individually. But then we have Rumble and Frenzy, or Frenzy and Rumble, or whichever poison you wish to indulge in. And they look to be non-posable little statuette things.
Yeah.
And then we move into the Autodubes. So Optimus is a very Optimus style. He comes with a little gun, and he comes with an axe. Optimum Punch. His name is Optimum Punch.
Hooray!
Hooray! These might be available on Etsy. I'm just after putting in the Tiny Earl, and I got taken to an Etsy shop. Oh, HTB Toys. They're also selling something called World's Tiniest Micropiece Transformers, but they've got them listed as £239. And these are what appear to be tiny little statues in a pod. I'm just like, oh, I hope that's an error.
Why?
Yeah, it's a little pod full of really teeny tiny things. Like even teenier and tinier. I think these are these might be the prototypes of these.
All right.
So if Nanobots, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Maybe contact them at some point and say like, excellent product, easy to assemble. Did you really pay that kind of price for them and say they were easy to assemble?
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, we won't worry. We'll continue on. We won't try and figure out their logic. Tiny Bumblebee, tiny Cliff Jumper, who's just a tiny Bumblebee with a new head. Actually, no, not even a new head. A new face. His face is different. And his feet are different, actually.
Oh my god.
Tiny Blue Blood. Blue Streak. Tiny Justice. Tiny Prowl. We see all the tiny peoples next to all the tiny things and how they look next to the Ark.
I think clearly this is what their idea was, right? Their idea was to make these things interactable specifically for the Ark, because they saw like, oh, look at the shit figures that come with the Ark that don't do anything and don't look great and aren't painted. They went, okay, let's do something with that. Not a terrible idea, I suppose.
No. Next up, we have Icon 3D Labs. These guys were previously seen doing an upgrade for Grimlock to make him King Grimlock with the weird Sharkticon shoulder pads. Which didn't really work.
No, it still doesn't look great. I think we talked about it before, and it still doesn't look amazing.
But they also have basically a chest filler for Masterpiece Soundwave, I think. Some kind of Soundwave to give him a more tune-accurate chest. I don't really like it. And the last thing they have advertised here is an accessory for your NECA Ninja Turtles.
It's again, why are we talking about Ninja Turtles at a Transformers convention? This is the second time we've done it, TFcon. What the fuck?
Slight problem. I really like this.
Oh, it's like legit really cool. It's like if you have the two Nakura Turtles, buy this set, because it is really cool. You get a couch, you get a table with pizzas, you get a TV with the stupid books to keep the TV up.
Yep.
With multiple screens with different images on, and a fucking boombox, maybe.
Yep.
It's really cool.
You can get pizzas. The pizzas might come with the turtles, but like
Maybe,
this
I don't know.
Really nice.
Yeah.
This is really nice.
It's really good.
To the point, it's really weird. One, it's like NECA, which means like I'm automatically just like, oh god.
Yeah. Yeah.
And two, because NECA's toys have never gone well for me. But yeah, I saw the Power Rangers. When I was away for the week. I saw the Power Rangers Ninja Turtle crossover figures from Lightning Collection.
Oh, they'd probably be okay, right?
They look really good.
Yeah.
But they also were really expensive. But they look really good. So yeah, I can't understand. I suppose it's just like, hey, we're also doing this. We're also doing this. Please God, we're also doing this.
Is it weird that the Turtle stuff looks a lot better than the Transformers stuff?
It is a bit weird, but then like I'm kind of amused by how much Turtles is becoming this little third-party marketplace now.
Yeah, it feels like it's having a weird little bumps for some reason, and I don't really know what's pushing it because it's not really as far as I know, there's not a new show that's really pushing it, right?
Don't think so.
Huh, it's weird. I'm not against it. It's like, Turtles are cool. I like them.
But yeah. So Iron Factory showed off this is more a closer look at some figures, so we got a better look at their Sea Spray. I honestly think it looks good, even with the fact that it is Sea Spray working against it.
I love the weird drill
thing.
I don't like an H hover tank drill thing. I don't know. Or is that it's not even a drill, it's a harpoon. Yeah. Which
looks real. It looks like it should be an anime drill tank.
This would actually be really good if Nick had used this design to go against Tidal Wave in his comic, The Whale Killer.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be good.
Yeah.
We also have a cone head, Iron Factory cone head into G2 Sandstorm.
I'm glad you remembered. I can remember its name. It looks great. I always like this color scheme, but it is just a repaint. So
but it is my favorite version of their Seeker mold.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a really nice looking mold, and it's a really good color scheme.
Here's a question: do you think they should, they could, but should they do? I don't know, either of the other two cone heads into. Have you ever seen the army color scheme, which is like a really, really dark gray, like a nighttime dark gray?
Yeah,
and they've got the camo, so you could have like your army stupid camo things. I asked that because I had Micro Machine Military, and there was like the night attack set, and they were kind of like that dark gray with the black camo on them. You could probably do that if you wanted, and I wouldn't be against it. If you said it was G2 again, I'd be like, yeah, alright, fuck it, let's go for it. Would you be up for that?
Yeah, no, I like it.
So you could do a grey one, and what's the last one? Because you can't do green because that's Acid Storm. Could you do white for like the Arctic? Or is there another one?
White with like blue splotches, Arctic camo.
Blue splotches.
Yeah, that's what Arctic camo is. Blue splotches. That's a military term, Andy.
It should just be like the Seeker holds a little white cone over its nose like a polar bear.
Yeah, just like I am part of the nature.
You can't see me. I'm covering my nose.
Yeah. They've also seen a lot of the samurai figures you've seen already, but one we've only seen some concepts of, and now we get to see in more detail, is Lockdown. Who is the Ronin. He is the Wandering Ronin. He comes with that weird straw hat look that Samurai Jack had, and it looks like his hook can extend on a very nicely done chain.
Yeah, the chain looks really cool. I'm guessing they're two separate pre-posed chains, right?
I'm assuming so. I'm fine with that as well.
Same. Only thing to be concerned about is if that's the case, which it probably is. Be careful with the chain because it will be it has to be a thin plastic because look at it, it's a fucking chain.
Yeah. And as long as it can hold up the claw, I'm fine.
Yes, it's just one of those things that if it falls, it might break, it might not, depending on the kind of plastic it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is small. It's just a small thin piece on a small figure.
Still
but
got
overall,
big birthing hips, which look weird still.
Yeah, he does have the birthing hip, but he looks good in poses.
Yeah.
He looks like this is a guy not meant to stand still. Like, this is one of those figures like, okay, it's standing still. Oh my god, it's moving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he pulls off some, like, classic samurai poses really well. We get a bit of a better look at the Grimlock, but not much to say there. I'm just scrolling through the confirmation the Seeker Girls are still coming.
Well, you say that, but when? Come on now.
Yeah, because I think this is the same image they used at the last TFcon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Bingo Toys revealed a movie Ironhide, a Bumblebee movie Ironhide in specific. My grammar. So this is an MP scaled movie Ironhide. He looks like the toy. So Steelman, made of ABS, stands about 25 centimeters, armored car mode. That's the thing, you could have a completely different alt mode to the official toy, because the alt modes are completely made up for the Bumblebee movie
That's
toys.
true. I don't think they're gonna. I think they'll probably try and stick to it, because Hasbro...
Well, no, they would have been made at a different... They would have been made at a different time. This would have been...
I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So, because they could just make it anything they want.
They could.
Transforms into an armored car. Figure comes with a fun and one other mysterious accessory. So it comes with a fun accessory and one you don't know about.
What the hell could a mysterious accessory for Ironhide be?
The head of Ratchet.
Oh my god! I could fix you.
We'll have a worn out paint scheme. This will presumably look better than it did on Siege.
No.
It couldn't look worse.
Yeah.
Estimated delivery fourth quarter 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. We get to see the Windblade again. She's gonna be 20 centimeters tall. Nothing new apart from the fact she's coming out in June.
Yeah, it's just a cleaner image than we saw on the website last week, really.
Yep. Planet X have revealed PXC04B Ares, which is a G2 repaint of Caucus, their IDW Grimlock.
The boring blue G2 version, not the cool orange one.
I was going to say, I do think this looks really good, and I think it's really good there's another way of picking up this toy.
Yeah.
And I think he looks good in robot mode, which is a challenge with that color scheme.
It is. It's really cool that because of how it transforms and the tail hides away, the grey on the tail for the T-Rex mode, and most of the grey, it just vanishes. It's like, wow, that's neat.
But
I
wish it was tiger striped.
That's the problem.
And I also wish they'd just do another release of the original with the improved shoulders. But presumably this has
you
the
can
fixed
buy
shoulders.
Because you didn't get one, did you?
No, because I had no money. But hopefully by the time this guy comes out, I will. And to be honest,
you'd suffer the blue one.
Yeah, because I don't know how they're going to go about releasing this guy in the future, and I'd rather have the blue one, and then they release the regular one, and I sell the blue one to get the regular one.
Right. Yeah, and I suppose going back and buying in the original coloured one, you mentioned you have the issue of the shoulders, which you don't want to use. And also the issue of the price. That too.
Yeah. Because, hey, oh my god, it's a week old, we need to double the price.
Yay!
You so crazy, eBay. You so crazy. But yeah, this still looks great as a figure. I saw Jobby's review, and I think the transformation looks kind of like the Fall of Cybertron Grimlocks, but more so, which is definitely one of those transformations that has elements of like, oh, this make me nervous, but the dinosaur mode is insane.
Like when you say that, is it one of those things where you'd be worried about paint scraping off and stuff?
I'd be more if I didn't know how Planet X did toy tolerance, which is like they try to make them basically out of like the toughest plastics, I'd be more worried about like, oh, this is bending too much. Oh, this is bending too much. But I don't think that will be an issue with this because, like, again, like they've got a history with this kind of transformation scheme,
right?
And just like, I could love a big blue T-Rex, and until I get a big grey T-Rex and swap it out. Sure. So, now we have a reveal, I think this is a reveal, of Nemios, which is their version of Victory Leo. So this is a definitely stylized Victory Leo to go along with their IDW-styled Starsaber.
Yeah.
So, now I don't know if this is an official combination, but he appears to be trying to launch the little core robot in one shot, which, considering how much of a dick he was in the show,
it makes sense. Yeah, I can see it.
So yeah, the robot mode is a pretty nice one. Good proportions, very super robot. The lion mode is also pretty solid. Looks a little chunky from the back, but kind of the nature of the beast, so to speak.
Kind of Zoidy, maybe.
Kind of Zoidy. Big ass cannons.
Yes.
And they've bulked out his wings considerably.
Yeah.
His vehicle mode,
I mean, it's shit. It's always shit. You can't help it. It's
utter shit.
Yeah, it's utter shit. It was always going to be shit because he's always had a shit vehicle mode. He's a lion, he's a robot, he turns into shoes. the in quotations vehicle mode is just it's a fan mode. It's Galvatron's or any of the RID Megatron's extra modes.
Yeah.
It's all
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, he can link up with the IDW Starsaber they did, and then he can of course form a IDW Victory Saber, which, considering if you think about it as IDW Victory Saber, oh Jesus Christ. He'll kill us all.
For the large. What did he have?
Oh my god. I'm going to reread Mord Meets the Eye. I'm going to record Mord Meets the Eye, and it's like Starsaber as Irish fundamentalist Catholic. Like, I bet I'm going to see if I can do that later on, actually. We'll see what we can do. But I think the actual combined form looks pretty solid. Like, they've given him a new crotch piece, which they don't usually do. And they've also like bulked up the arms. So instead of him just being like a backpack and some shoes, they've really tried to integrate it a bit more.
Yeah.
So he's a bit more Gao Gary.
Kind of.
But like, they've done more with the combination than the actual figures do, which I appreciate. I still wish there was a lot more integration. And a lot less, like, this has a bit of a Power Rangers vibe at the moment.
I could see that.
Or a Sentai Mech vibe of just like, my friend is a boot.
Or shoulder pads and stuff like that, yeah.
Now my friend has just like split into 5 pieces and is combining onto me in stop motion. But no, I think he looks decent. What do you think?
I really like the Tiger mode, Saber-tooth Tiger thing. I think that's its best mode. I don't like the robot mode's head.
There's something in the face, isn't there?
It is. Do you remember Tropic Thunder, where Ben Stiller killed the panda?
Oh no, you've made it better. You've made it better.
To me, it looks like Ben Stiller wearing a severed panda head on his head, and that's
you've made it better.
That doesn't do it for me on a visual thing. Maybe it would work a bit more.
I was like dubious about it, and now you've made it work for me. They're so adorable. I sponsored the pandas. I had to kill him.
You know, I still give Ben Stiller credit because, you know, killing a panda and like ripping it apart and making it into a hat, it's not an easy task.
No, pandas are fucking dangerous.
Yeah, they may be stupid and not want to live, but they'll still kill you. They're heavy.
Their fault. They are literally programmed to breed in orgies, and we won't let them.
That's what
all I want to mate with is 7 of my nearest and dearest. Why won't you let me?
And that's when the priest comes in. Yeah, you need Jesus, pandas. You need Jesus.
Starsaber sends from on high. Have you heard the word of the Lord? Panda pulls out a gun.
Just try the missionary position. Just
tell Jesus I said hello.
But yeah, I'm wondering if just seeing this guy colored will make me feel better about it. But it's generally the head design is not working for me. I appreciate them trying to make a combined form, and I think they've done well for what they were doing. I do not think it comes together desperately well it comes together well. I don't think it's bad. I just think from a visual perspective from my end, it's just Victory Leo splits in half, and half of his chest goes onto his shoulder, and the other half of his chest goes onto the other shoulder. He turns into big boots, and it just doesn't look quite right for me. Again, will it work when it's colored? Maybe. Looking at these grey prototype combined images, not so much. And maybe I like the idea of the IDW design of Starsaber not being a combiner. Though I understand from if you're going to make a Victory Leo, of course you're going to make it into combiner form. Of course you are. It would be dumb not to. But I think I would prefer, if I was going to have one of these, it would just be Starsaber, and I wouldn't need Victory Leo at all. I could just leave them out, you know?
I also think, like, when this guy is yellow, I actually think it could clash a lot more.
It might. Yeah, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say how this will work, because we need those colors on him to determine how well this is going to pull off for the combined mode. 100% agree.
Next up, we have I don't think there's much new here. There's Fantabi's Flamebreaker, who we've seen before just in color. There's their Arson, which is their version of Pyro, which we've seen before.
Yep.
We have colorized CAD models for Commander E, which is the Energon Optimus. I think the colors definitely like help a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Weirdly enough, I think it really highlights how beefy his forearms are in the drill foot mode, for want of a better term.
Yeah.
Which works. Like, I actually like that there seems to be different proportions. But not the different proportions because we're a bunch of terrible designs all stuck together. Like, different proportions intentionally. Like, the shoulders mirror each other in both forms.
They do, actually. Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't buy it, but you know how Fans Hobby failed? They didn't show any more images of Tidal Wave. Yes, I will not get off that. I will be on them, and I will also be incredibly pissed off at them when they say it's like 150 to 200 pounds when it comes out. I'll be like, fuck you.
Show up outside the design windows and just like, give it to me.
Just send me one, please, please.
Well, we'll see if we can get your review copy at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Fans Toy. Why don't you do that? Send in a message to Fans Hobby and say like, I will review it. I have a podcast. No one cares. I do not have 200,000 viewers, and no one cares. And I'm not Bent Collectibles, which means you're not the only Brit anyone cares about outside of the UK. But still,
no, this too.
No one cares about you. He's a monster. He's history's greatest monster.
Yeah, that's true.
He ate a baby. I saw him do it.
Rock, man, it'll change you. Rock and roll.
Fans Toys have a blaster, which is going to have a die-cast crotch.
Oh my god! And chest.
And chest.
And shoulders, apparently, it seems.
Yeah, which, unfortunately for a prototype, really don't make it look good.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine when it's painted, but... I mean, it looks like Blaster.
They've got colored CAD models, and that's fine. And he's going to have the G1 head or the Toy/Marvel Comics head.
You can choose,
which I think looks better.
Really?
The G1 head, something's off about it. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's too flat.
No, I don't know. I think it might just be because it's not painted.
Maybe. And he'll come with the steel jaw and... Excuse me, Ramhorn. Ramhorn is remarkably articulated.
He is.
Ramhorn has like a head tilt.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised by that. And he's still got his stupid G1 looking face, the animation version, where he's got tiny eyes. Yeah, and Rewind and Eject freak me out. Again, they don't look quite right. No, also, one of their, like, thighs is pointing the wrong way. They almost look like stereotypical Japanese muscle dudes at the gym that just go "Hurr!" and just rush you. There was these like really famous 2-man group that had the piss taken out of it of Family Guy a lot, and it was like they were really well known, and then it turned out they were like lip syncing everything and they couldn't sing a damn word. Oh, what was? Oh, if I show you the picture, you'll know who it is. Will I? Yes. Well, but that's who I'm thinking of when I see that. It just like, and they were like Middle European or something like that. Okay. The guys with the tigers in Vegas. No, but they were very similar. I like the idea that Mikey's just searching for 2 men on Family Guy. That is literally what Uptown Funk. Is it Uptown? No, the Uptown Funk stuff. No. Yes, Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli. That's what it is. Okay, I've heard the name. Yeah. Yeah. So, this is. I'm very excited by this. Yeah. No, there's pictures here that really make me think of Rewind and Eject in this. Hang on. I'm hanging. Hang on. Ah! I'm putting it in the Discord. Ah! Load faster, you bitch. It's loaded. It's sending. Oh, them. Okay. See what I mean? Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. They're just like the same vibe. Okay. So yeah, and also they've hinted at an Ultra Magnus coming. Hooray! Also, this guy seems weirdly tall. I never pictured Blaster as that tall. Yeah, same. I never pictured Perceptor as that tall either, to be honest. No, I guess it's because you don't really see them all stood next to each other in Season 3 often. Yeah. Anyway, Moon Studios, Radiotron, they're riding. We get to see all the bot modes colored. Yep. Still in very boring poses, but never mind. Yep. Not much to add to that. We do get to see the trains, and I do want to give them a credit. I do think the combined train actually looks pretty fun. Yeah. It'll be fun, like, to have it on your carpet and pull it around on the floor. That would be neat. Yeah, and Radiotron looks decent, but I do not like the way the shoulders make his arms stick out 5 feet. If you could have had the bicep a little closer into the body, I think that'd be okay. But it's something that just doesn't look quite right. I would agree. He's probably not going to be superposable just from how they're posing his knee bends and whatnot. But I suppose that's just due to the weight of him because he's going to be fucking heavy.
Yo, he's going to be huge.
Yeah. I don't even just mean big. He will be big, but the amount of plastic that's on this guy, because all of them are like masterpiece size, aren't they? So it's just going to be heavy. It might be BB killing heavy, but I'm not sure.
Kang Toys have fully revealed the last couple of figures from their Predaking Combiner, which is the feet, which are a pair of wolf robots that turn into feet.
That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yep, and I like the robot modes, and I like the wolf modes. I think these are prototypes because they are not colored black, and I'm assuming these are going to be black. And also, I don't think they're releasing a silver version of Razor Claw. I think this, as far as I could tell looking at it, these are promo stuff.
I hope so, yeah.
So, but, like, I really like, these are super, like, we're talking Zoids, these are Zoids.
Oh, yeah.
What if Zoids were feet? But I think they look really cool. I think it's a lovely idea. For a transformation.
Have you seen the group lineup with the 3 coloured ones in the back and the 5 grey ones in the front, and then Crab.
Crab, hello.
I am Crab. I am Predacon.
I am
pinch,
Crab.
pinch.
Hello, I am Crab. But like, no, these guys are gonna look excellent together. Like, I would honestly, I don't care about Predaking. I just think this slot looks really fucking cool. Like, Predaking's cool, great. I like their combined Predaking. I care more about the individuals.
Yeah, it looks like a really interesting group overall.
And like every review I've seen of the release guys is like, oh my god, these are excellent.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that's really, really cool.
What do you think of Predaking, though? The combined form? Because he looks a bit fat to me.
He does look a bit chunky, but I think once he's all one color, he'll flow a lot better.
Help. Yeah, probably right.
And my god, that is a shank.
Yeah.
That is the shankiest shanks.
I'm maybe a mild concern because that sword looks like it would be heavy. Hopefully it is okay on the joints. I'm sure they've already planned this out and thought about it, but that's a lot of weight.
Hopefully, remember, those hands are crabs.
Yes.
Which is like, that is a crab split in two. So I'm just, again, like, make it so we can use it, or like, if it's heavy, give us a stand or something.
Something, yeah.
You've done very good so far, lads. Just keep it up. So, next up is a new company, Vectron Lab, who are coming out swinging by doing G1 Constructicon Combiner, G1 Masterpiece Scale. So this is the Excavators.
Oh god, who could it be?
Rostro, Shudo, Rolio, Ringo, Brachio, Massing No. I don't know what any of these names are going. So far, I've got Missing No from Pokemon and Ringo Starr. We only see Ringo.
Oh, Sadako.
Ringo.
Is it Sadako?
Oh, no. No, Andy, no.
No? Horror movie thing? Reference?
Yeah,
no?
Oh. I get it. You're just a bad person.
I am.
So, we get to see the prototype. Prototype robot mode is pretty standard. Prototype vehicle mode, pretty standard. Looks like there's a few extra features, like there's a communication thing built into Ringo's Scrapper, by the way, built into his arms, and the fingers look very posable.
What scale are these? Are these masterpiece scale?
These are masterpiece, but the finger aesthetic is a little unusual. It looks weirdly cartoony. You see him from lots of different angles. Most of it's fairly standard until you get to, weirdly enough, the bucket, because the bucket has 3 different modes. So we have, like, you could basically, it's bucket transformation. I thought it was swap. I thought it was a part swap, but apparently no.
Oh, really?
You transform the bucket into 3 different modes. You got a combiner mode where it's like big and chunky. You got robot mode where it's pushed back a bit, and it's only got 2 prongs in combiner mode. It's got 5 prongs in robot mode, and in alt mode it's got 3 prongs. And looking at them, they do not look like they're the same thing to me.
No, so it's hard to figure out how that's going to be not replaceable parts.
I'm very, very curious to see if they can pull this out without... Because it says transformation.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it transforms. If it is part forming, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
But just... It would be neat if you could work it in somehow. And weirdly enough, they've hinted number 2, and this will be Metatron. So a Megatron is just not a Constructicon.
Yeah,
if he comes with that, murdered Abraham Lincoln thing on fire, I'm all for that.
Okay, I will say that from the image we have of Scrapper for a Masterpiece scaled figure, do not be charging Masterpiece prices because it does not look like it is that impressive of a figure.
Yeah.
It looks like a deluxe, basically.
The thing is, unless if the transformation is like super detailed and cool,
sure,
yeah, but Scrapper has one of the simplest aspects of turning into a Devastator foot.
Pretty much.
He should not have crazy engineering.
Yeah. Just generally, detail looks pretty flat on him. It does look like a legend scale figure or something.
Maybe they're going like, ooh, cartoon model, so he would be very flat, but one of the problem with the cartoon model is just not super interesting at this scale.
Also, it feels like a cop-out, right? Just to say that.
But it felt, Then, Transbots X since 2008. Who were they before they were Transbot X then? Because they were not them in 2008. MX41, Ground Bike, Scrapper, a Masterpiece style Scrapper. It is Scrapper. It is Scrapper, yeah.
It is Scrapper.
Okay, it's more detailed, but I don't really love it.
No.
And there's also, like, the used version. 41 and 41T, I don't see the difference between... What's the difference between... Okay, you've got toy version and toon version. Okay.
Yeah. I will say that for vehicle mode, it looks like they've tried to make Scrapper into a real excavator, or based more off a real one.
Definitely.
So that's interesting. I wouldn't say it's got Scrapper's face, because it looks like his faceplate, which is very, like, angular. It looks more smooth. It looks a lot more rounded, which is a weird choice to go for. The youth version.
The youth of today. But this also comes in a 41E Euro version, which is
the good one.
Yellow G2 version. Mm-hmm. And then there's US edition, which is orange.
Which is the worst one because no one likes the USA.
No, the USA is a source of all world problem. We also see the vehicle mode, which the bit of the leg mode, which is literally just Scrapper doing a handstand. But it comes with this, or it seems to come with this like support piece to make it look like he's standing on broken earth.
That can be good unless it's necessary.
Yeah, I was about to say that was the unless I was worried about.
Yes.
No. Then we have random, which I can only imagine this is because of IDW.
Sure.
MX41S Dig Pig, otherwise known as Scoop. So it is a Scrapper retooled into a Scoop. Presumably he still forms a foot. Which also means like if they go that route, you'll have like M41W, which is like Dig Green, which is like Green Scrapper. And he comes with the little Target Master boys who combine into a little Target Master guns. And then they've got a bunch of weird-ass silhouettes that are referencing, I think, the Omnibots? Or an Omnibot? Poplights?
Well, Poplights is Searchlight.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
You've got Searchlight. Do you not recognize that car mode?
Do you recognize that robot mode? Because I was sure that was one of the Omnibots.
Nah, that's Searchlight.
I'll take your word for it.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell Mikey he's wrong.
It could. You could be right, but it looks like this is weird to me. They're doing this fuzzy silhouette nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know why they're blurring out the images, and they've shown the three heads or the two of the heads you can get from again to blur them out for fucking reasons. Who knows why?
One, which I don't know.
I don't know, man.
And they're doing the wrong detective
again.
Conan.
It's closer.
This is the one that interested in the Lamentations of your women. And they also confirmed the trailer is coming in March. Elegos Premium estimated release in April, and MX10 Premium for May. Mastermind are releasing a blue version of their Promenon Batman.
Not Batman. No.
Not Batman.
No. Yeah, it's just blue. It's like, hey, we'll go for the animated version, I guess. Like, all right.
A lot of people. I saw a lot of people going like, "Is this the 1960s version?"
I wouldn't say so.
I'm assuming it's DCAU, early DCAU.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be for me. I think it looks good. I mean, I've never loved this execution because I think they were too limited by whatever about they're willing to push Hasbro buttons. They ain't willing. DC and Warner Brothers will not be kind.
Well, wasn't it based off of Rat-Bat?
It was a Rat Bat that they retooled.
Yeah, so it'd be a lot to do with that as well, and it's
Yeah.
just they retooled it to a point, and like you said, they could only retool it to a certain point. I never was a big fan of this, but fine,
Yep.
whatever.
Then we've got Grifter, which is Hubcap.
Yeah.
From the I can't read that Perfection series. Oh, Perfection series, which is all about transformation. It's all about having a crazy transformation, and it looks like he's a retool of a Cliffjumper.
The Perfection series is a renamed version of whatever because RC was in this line, but it wasn't called the Perfection series.
Ocular
before.
Max.
Ocular Max, yeah, that's what it was called before. Good call, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got one no one saw coming, which is the next in the Eris series. For anyone who doesn't remember, Eris was their Infinity or Infinitism or whatever. It was their female Tarn, except narratively the idea was that Eris is a robot who can take on other people's aesthetics for offensive and spying reasons and stuff like that.
Oh, there's a reason? I didn't know there's a reason for it.
So this is technically the same character, just copying someone else.
Oh.
So this is Eris Armadon, which is Eris copying Armada Megatron. I'm assuming they're a little limited about who she can turn into, because if they're if everything's going to be a retool of the same figure,
it'd be Brawl next.
Brawl,
Brawl.
Warpath.
Yeah, I don't like this. This just feels like we
or...
needed to reuse the mold, so we'll give it a few changes.
I like the concept. I don't like. I thought the Eris Tarn worked really well.
I liked the Tarn. The Tarn was very cool. That was very cool. Yes.
This one, I don't like the arms. I don't like the way the cannons work in this form. And I get the I like the idea the head is just going super scowly, but I'm not in love with this execution. I get the idea, like the idea, don't like the product.
Yeah, I don't like it nearly as much as the previous one. It's a big step down. Maybe they should have released this one first and then the Tarn, and then we could have gone, oh, the Tarn looks really good. But yeah, just looking at this one, I'm going, I'm not feeling it, guys. Especially, it's not a good time to do it when fans hobby that have got Tyranno out recently-ish.
Looks really good.
Yeah. This one just kind of looks like.
What if this had been Tidal Wave? What if it had been Eris Tidal Wave?
I would have. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. And that's the end of TFcon. So there was actually quite a bit of new stuff there for once. I expect this not to be the case next time.
Probably, but I would say it didn't feel like there was anything really heavy hitting. At least to me.
Absolutely.
To me, at least.
There was also some interviews and stuff, and the only thing that came out of that of interest is that FJ DeSanto did pitch a Transformers Legacy show to Netflix. FJ DeSanto is Satan.
Oh my god.
So he is the architect of my pain for nearly half a decade now. Oh, no, more than half a decade now.
No, tell people who he is in case people don't know who he is.
FJ DeSanto is the producer and occasional writer for Transformers series, including Power of the Primes, Combiner Wars, Titans Return, War for Cybertron, Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom...
that kind of stuff.
He's one of the linking things between all of that made everyone go like, oh no, there's a linking factor. Apparently Netflix rejected it because they wanted to change their format, and Hasbro didn't want to take it to anyone else because Hasbro wants to stick with Netflix for the moment. Can't say I'm disappointed to learn he won't be doing another one.
Oh no.
Now, that was the end of our news, but there is a couple of little things I want to throw in. One we missed from a few weeks back, which is that it was announced by IDW that Last Bot Standing is coming. This is a standalone 4-issue miniseries set at the end of the universe kind of shit. At the end of time. I'm just going to get a little blurb, and then I'm going to say why this is interesting. Last Bot Standing. The war for Cybertron is long over, yet what it started lingers at the edge of the universe and at the edge of time. Readers will discover the planet Donok, A world poised for an industrial revolution just beginning to grasp mechanization. The planet's future is forever changed when a shape-shifting robot from a dead civilization pays a visit. So this is going to be a 4-issue miniseries. The planet, it seems to be basically a space western. So that sort of like turn of the century, just as we're moving into like the 1900s versus the 1800s kind of thing. Art is by E.J. Su in a slightly atypical style, more leaning towards maybe a slightly Nick Roach-inspired style, which is cool. You know, E.J. Su at the very start of it all for IDW, having him towards the end, not a bad idea. The story is intended to be a what-if for any Transformers story. So it's not the end of the current IDW universe, it's the end of a Transformers universe. It's up to you which one you take. However, a cover did reveal that the last bot standing looks a hell of a lot like More Than Meets Rodimus.
Oh, no.
So...
It wouldn't be a shock if Nick did that. He does like Rodimus.
Yeah,
quite a lot.
and Nick's the writer. Nick Roach is a writer, and that is why I'm interested in a standalone Hot Rod / Rodimus space western story by Nick Roach with art by E.J. Su. You would have to really work hard for me to not be open to this idea. And even with the ups and downs of IDW in the last couple of years, there hasn't been a bad Nick book ever. And I've read his non-Transformer stuff now as well. So I'm interested. You know, Andy, as someone who's, I would say, a bit of burnout in the comics is a fair thing to say.
Oh, yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I've got more hope there'd be something I'd be more interested in. I've not been as positive on the last few Nick Roach's stuff as a lot of other people. But I'd be more than willing to give it a try at least. I'd probably be more excited for it than most of the other comics that I have to read at the moment.
Like, hopefully, I also want them to announce like a follow-on from Shattered Glass, because that was good.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's very much like, oh, something we could read. Which, you know, there hasn't been a lot of. The other news story is something that got a hell of a lot of attention this week, which was Funko Pops, source of all joy in the world.
Oh my god. Filling all the holes in the world from landfills.
Have announced that they are doing a Transformers promotion. Now, they've already been doing Transformers Funko for a while, but oh boy, this is a Transformers Funko NFT collection. Series 1. That's a worrying
thing. You gotta hope Hasbro doesn't know about this, but they probably do.
Yeah, there's probably... No, Hasbro probably like just going like, yes, good.
No.
So these are, for anyone who doesn't know, non-fungible tokens. These are going to be animated digital tokens that you buy on a blockchain, which essentially means you get a link to an image that you have access to but can't really do anything with. And that one day they can just delete and take away from you.
What's wrong with that, Mikey?
Well, as someone who's recently gotten into the whole thing about comicsology, I like paying money for things that I know I can keep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And boy howdy. So, the way this is going to work, so there are 36,000 individual packs available to buy. Some of these packs are going to be 5 cards. So these are done as cards. These are online trading cards, essentially. But in NFTs, which means that you can't keep them. They're someone else's. You have access to them. You don't own them. They're not for you. You need to accept this. So the standard pack of 5 is going to be 10. And the standard pack of 15, the premium pack, the one that most people will probably buy, for reasons I will say in a minute, will be $30. So $30 for 15 NFTs that you don't own. Now, these NFTs function like trading card packs. There are I was looking at this. There's, how many actual Transformer NFTs are there in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, in these packs, there are 6 Transformers. There are 15 NFTs. Andy, do you see a mathematic problem?
No, what could possibly go wrong?
So there are a lot of other things under Funkos.
Sorry, I meant possibly go wrong. That's the first time that anything's gone wrong.
So, if you're interested in this, you're like, oh wow, I'd like to collect these.
No, stop.
Stop, for one.
Sign
for
up to
many reasons.
Moonbase 2. It's
Sign-
better.
For everyone. But you are going to have to run the risk that in your 15, there are no Transformers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because this is going to work like a gacha game. It's going to work like loot crates. It's going to work the same, except loot crates are weirdly more moral, which is a strange word to live in.
Yeah, what a weird thing to say.
Now, there are chances of getting the ones you want, right? So, for a common, the commons are Devastator and Bumblebee. The chance is 48.9%. Not 50%, 48.9%. So, on average, 1 out of 2, we'll say. We'll be generous. What also means, like, you are going to end up, if you try to go through this, and I'm genuinely saying don't, you are going to end up with a hell of a lot of Devastators and Bumblebees. Hell of a lot. Uncommon, which is 27.08%, is a glowy sideswipe and a weird red metallic jetfire. 14.03% is a shockwave, little purple shockwave. 7.99% is a Megatron, and 1.72% is a legendary. Now, legendaries are exclusive physical collectible redemption ones. These are slightly different. These represent different characters. What this means, these are a Devastator, a Hot Rod, a Rumble, or Frenzy, whichever one you want it to be, a Sideswipe. So, if you get one of them, in that less than 2% chance, you will get a physical Funko Pop of that character.
Hooray! What a steal!
What a steal. At the moment, that is an estimated, exclusive release. Now, if you get a 0.28% chance Grail, which to have a 50% chance of getting, you would have to buy 1,375 packs, I calculated.
No,
there or thereabouts.
I don't want
to.
Now,
I'm not a mathematician. Obviously, I could be very wrong about this, but it is in the thousands to get basically, it's like trying to get a shiny Pokemon. Or being Fubuki trying to get a shiny Pokemon.
Oh, no. No one needs that look.
And everyone else just goes like, I've got 5. But if you do that, you get a Gold Lagoon Optimus. Based on the existing Optimus vinyl. Now, if you get all 4 of, at least all 4 of the legendaries, I don't know if it's all 4 of the legendaries plus the Grail, you will get a Freddy Funko as Bumblebee, which is a Bumblebee with a human face. There are only 2,000 of these available. So there's 2,000 of the Bumblebees. There's 1,550 of the legendary guys, and there's 999 of the Optimuses. So in general, you have a less than 2% chance of getting one of these, and you have a basically less than a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting either the Freddy Funko or the Holy Grail Optimus. So, is there anything else they said here that is relevant before I go off on one? You will have, once this goes through, if you do happen to get one of these, you will have 30 days to redeem it. If you miss the redemption point, you still have the NFT, you do not have the Funko. Similar to what happened with the Hasbro and the Megazord, which was only 200 of those available.
Oh my god.
It was actually better than this. It's a scam.
It's NFTs. Yeah, that's what you said.
It's a fucking scam. It's a massive scam that is a massive fad that many companies. This is the 12th one of these Funkos has done.
God damn it!
Want to know what makes it worse? They've all sold out bar one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised because people are buying into it for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah,
and you get celebrities endorsing it as well, which I don't get.
Yeah,
actually, I do. They've been paid to do it. There's no reason why they actually believe
and
in
also, like, the Funko collectors, hardcore Funko collectors want everything.
Yeah, they're too deep in. They're fucked.
So, I did a few simple calculations.
No, that'll make it even worse.
No, it will. So, people may not know this about me, but I'm a wee bit environmentally aware. I don't always make environmental choices, but I'm a wee bit environmentally aware, right? So, I did some math. So, on average, an NFT produces 211 kilograms of carbon dioxide per creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a premium pack produces approximately 3 to 4 tons, depending on your estimation, of carbon dioxide. Now, at the absolute best odds, like after like if you draw 4, you get the 2 you want. If you draw however many, it comes in at about 101 tons of carbon dioxide you would have to create to get all of these little fellas, excluding the Grail. The Grail you have to pull more than 1,000 times. Have a really good shot of getting it. Now, as a human being, Andy, I know you're supposed to be one.
No, well, that's what society deems me I should be.
On average, your carbon footprint in Europe, because whether you like it or not, you're still on the continent, is 4 tons. So you and I, on average, we put out 4 tons of carbon dioxide every year.
Okay.
So, assuming you pull all of these in one day, you will have produced 20 to 30 times as much carbon dioxide in a few hours as you would in an entire year. Now, people who are much better at maths than I have done real estimates on what's the realistic amount of carbon dioxide to be put out, which is approximately 4,000 American households for this one event. Slight problem, the American households have higher than average carbon dioxide output of not 4 tons, but 12 tons. So that is, just doing some 48,000 tons of carbon dioxide. For a thing that doesn't exist, that you don't own, that can be taken away from you at a whim, and that will fall out of favor probably within 2 years the way blockchain trends go.
Yeah.
As I said to someone who messaged me and said, like, listen, I don't see what the big fuss is, and I'm like, this is literally making the world a worse place to live. You are in a worse world as an oxygen breathing, energy needing organism because someone wants a rare Transformers Funko Pop. That is like a literal truth. And I just think it's kind of gross, to be honest. On top of all the environmental stuff, I think the way this is structured is gross. I think the prices are fucking insane. I also don't like a TFW just basically give a very normal news story. I liked Cybertron's news story, which was like, yeah, we're saying this is shit, so you know to avoid this.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Which is very, like, Toku Nation did the same thing with the Megazord that the NFT thing did.
I can understand why, in some aspect, trying to give just a neutral "this is what it is" not a terribly bad thing. But I can't see any reason why saying NFTs would be a good thing in any situation, whether it be the output of extra bad stuff into the world or just it being a fucking scam.
Yep.
You know,
there's literally no benefit to these. And some people said, like, how is it different from buying a digital piece of art and something? Like it's very different. One, you are giving all your money to a creator. Mm-hmm. 2, the carbon footprint is tiny in comparison because all they're doing is producing running a computer and producing one JPEG or one TIFF or whatever. And 3, I have a piece of digital art that I bought off someone. They sent me a large HD file, right?
Yes.
I own that. They can't take it off me. If they come back to me and say, give it back, I can say no. I can print it. I can edit it. I can send it to my friends. I can do whatever I want with it. Because I paid money and I own it. I nearly lost it one time and had a heart attack.
Oh, no.
But there is a big difference between saying I have supported an artist by giving them money and they have given me a product that is mine to keep. Versus, I'm supporting a system which can be taken away from me at a whim. And it's not like a game where I get the full experience and okay, I'll never touch it again or whatever. It's like, this is something that I'll probably never use beyond once even. And it's damaging the literal planet. And it's really bad for Hasbro to be connected to this, especially since I'm sure a full Transformers NFT is coming. A full, like, swap your thing for an Optimus Prime that's glow in the dark or something. When they make such a big fuss at the moment about being the environmentally friendly company, and then they get in bed with this kind of bullshit.
Mm.
So anyway, I wanted to include this because I just wanted people to know exactly why I have a rant about it on Twitter.
That's fair, yeah.
Which has been retweeted more than anything since Nicey.
Really? Wow, that's sad.
With a lot of people saying like, "Oh my god, key thing to read." I'm just like, I really want to go. I'm not a mathematician. These are like basic maths. Ask people who can do this properly. It gets so much worse. So yeah. Anyway, that is the news. We managed to drag it out a lot more than I thought we would.
Hooray! Well, Mikey, what have you been up to this week? What are you done for fun?
I bought Funko. No, I didn't.
Oh my god, that would be a horrible twist.
Yes, what a twist. I have had another work every week, which is kind of going to be the next couple of months.
Yay!
So not a ton of stuff done. But I will say it was a good week for stuff done.
All right.
For the most part, yeah. I watched the subbed version of Dawn Brothers episode 1. I saw the Raw before. This was me seeing the subbed version. And yeah, very, very... I told Andy about it off stream. Or off recording rather, and it was very, in a way, in many ways, but it was also very unusual for modern Sentai. Mm-hmm. The CG is a problem with the Rangers, I think, and I don't think at the moment the legacy transformation gimmick is worked into the story well at all.
That's a shame.
It's pretty ham-handed. Like maybe it'll build. But I think it's badly executed. I like the aesthetics a lot. I just wish like the CGI Rangers are really not great done, which means to me they're there so they can like change into legacy characters and not have to use CG. But,
do you think it was done better in the previous series where they were just in they weren't suits. People, but they were suit actors? Yeah,
and from what I've seen of that one, the way the legacy gimmick won, it's all like it's at the core of the thing.
Right.
And the way the powers work is like, they give us extra abilities, we don't turn into them.
Yeah.
Which is apparently something they were going to do, but they said they didn't want to. And now they decided to do this show, which feels less suited for a legacy gimmick.
Right.
Yeah. But we'll wait and see. I watched the new episode of 86, had a new episode out of nowhere.
Oh, okay. Has it been on a break or something?
Yeah, like at a weird point. So it basically went on a break around episode 10 of season 2, and it's been gone for months.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just like, is it going on now for another 10 episodes, or is it like just going to have 2 episodes and that's it? I'm very confused. But this was I will say, very well directed, very artistic little examination of the main character's death wish, for want of a better thing, and him getting past it. And I thought it was like, there's some very clever stuff, like he's trying to reach for someone, and like it's got the aspect ratio with there's a technical term for this, the black bars on it, and the black bars come down and cut his hand off. I thought that was like a really nice little piece of visual, and it like quite an emotional episode if you're invested in 86. So I like 86. I'm glad it's back. I just really wish I knew, am I settling in for the long haul, or am I settling in for a couple of weeks? Very strange. Oh, did I do anything else about the big 2? No. So we got to talk about this. Holy shit. That was really pretty animation, Andy.
You mean for Osama Ranking?
Osama Ranking.
Yeah.
Ranking of the King, episode 21, which kind of wrapped up a lot of our big story arcs and revealed a lot of shit in the same time.
It's not the last episode of the season, though, is it?
Nope. There's at least 2 or 3 more left.
Thank God.
I think 3 to... Actually, it might be 3 to 5 more. We get the big confrontation between Boji and Boss. And did I mention this is animated by Wit Studios?
Yeah, just a little bit. And they went, here's some money. And they went, okay.
They just went like, yeah, here's my dick on the table.
Pretty much.
I'm not flopping around because of the size of it. It's just like, it's here. It is what it is. Yeah, most of this episode is like, like, not just the action shots, just shots.
Yeah, like unnecessary shots where they're just like swaying backwards and forwards. When I say swaying
Boss
backwards
is
and
looking
forwards.
up, Boss looks up. And like the sharp lines and just like,
yeah. The entire episode. Like, I was worried because the first little bit of the episode, they weren't really doing anything, and I was like, they're putting a lot of money into them not doing anything apart from talking. And then they went into the action and went, oh, it's just for consistency's sake. Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah. And an extremely creative and very entertaining fight scene. I thought doing it the way they did, I don't want to spoil how they did it because it's such a fantastic show and you should be watching it. But such a creative way of expressing what this conflict is.
Yeah.
And led to some wonderful visual moments highlighting basically how far Boji's come, highlighting so many things about Boss, which I don't know how I feel about him at all anymore. Because, like, it didn't erase the terrible things we know he did.
No.
But it also put a lot of the stuff since he came back in a whole other fucking light. Like, he's willing to commit a murder in this that he should not be willing to commit given both his history and what's going on. But he's willing to do it because ultimately he has one incredibly prominent relationship in his life that he puts before everyone else.
Yeah, strangely enough. Which we still don't know entirely why. We kind of do.
No. Yeah, but I feel like we've seen enough to at least fill in our gaps, and if they didn't like dive into it deeper, I'd be like, oh, I want more, but like I wouldn't feel unsatisfied.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was some great character moments in it. The Big Four get an amazing moment.
Yep.
That is also translated into an amazing moment for Boji when he's observing them. He gets a nice flashback to why he'd give a shit about Daida in the first place.
Yeah, which I was like, has Daida ever been nice to him? It's like, oh no, he has been. Okay.
Something I love about that, completely soundless.
Yes, as it should be. It's his own flashback.
Boji can't hear anything.
Yeah.
No music, no nothing. It's just Boji sees the world.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Miranjo gets some really nice characterization and finality to her character in a way, which isn't final at all.
No,
because clearly there's more coming. And boy, howdy, was that a really disconcerting image at the end.
Yeah, with the demon.
Of the eating and the vomiting and the eating again and the vomiting and the eating again.
Consuming souls and then regurgitating those souls reforming and then the process going over and over again.
And like, not just like swallowing, tearing apart.
Yeah, tearing apart. Yeah.
But also like we finally get hinted at what's going on with this demon because we see it's our first real introduction to the small child form we saw in the opening.
That's all we've had so far of it, yeah.
So... yeah, no, I am definitely interested. And once again, it ended in the way this bloody show always ends. It's just like, fuck!
Yeah. I'll tell you, I was really concerned that the end of the fight was the end of the episode because I wasn't really paying attention with...
No, the pacing of the show really, like, grabs you, doesn't it?
It did well, and I was certain it was just going to be like, and the fight's over, and I was like, fuck you, it better not be the end. And it wasn't. I was like, oh, thank God. And then only a few moments later, it was over again. I was like, God damn it. Never mind.
But man, it is such a good show. It's unreasonable. It is unreasonably good.
Yeah, super good.
I really hope we've got one or two episodes after all this, which is like settling into like what happens. Like the Big Four have made their declaration about who they're behind, and definitely at least one of them is definitely not turning around and helping Daida again. Yeah, actually, no, two of them are not helping Daida because one definitely wants to bang Boji's mom. But I'm sorry, he totally does.
What?
And that's fine.
Well,
you should.
You mean
They'd make
Daida's
a lovely
mum.
couple.
You mean Daida's mum?
Boji's mom.
Kinda, but not really.
She's
not
Boji's mom.
Not biological.
No, don't care. She's Boji's mom.
That's fine.
Hilling is a wonderful mother, and that's her boy. She said so.
Yes. We didn't need to worry about the magic spell healing as well. We also... Yeah, I got that kind of stuff. It wasn't an issue. It wasn't like Boss was healed at the end. I was like, good.
Nope. Boss got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
Which was done so well. Like, so I love how Boji fights. And I love how no one really expects it. Even Despa doesn't expect it. And yeah. Like, we need follow-up on Oaken. We need follow-up on Miranjo. We need follow-up on Daida and Healing. Like, I don't think we need follow-up on Boss.
No, I think his story's done. I think the only thing we could do is, like, a scene of him in the afterlife. Maybe it's like a flash forward and he's explaining what's happening to Miranjo while it's happening to Miranjo at the same time.
Or he's running away from his dead wife who's trying to club his ghost.
Maybe, yeah.
What have you done? But no, it is I cannot recommend this show enough to people. I really, really, really can. It's phenomenal.
It's great. Yeah, super good.
It's the show of the last year, I would say, very, very comfortably.
Oh, easily. It's shocking how good it is.
Yeah, it's one of the, like, we've had them occasionally. We occasionally hit those shows. Like, ReZero was in last year, but I don't count that because that started years ago. But man, it's good. And also, Shield Heroes back next month.
Yeah, I guess I'll be good to kind of make up for the fact that that's going to be over soon.
Please have something. Don't suck. I don't know if it will, but I hope it doesn't.
Yeah. How long has it been? It's been away for a while, right?
A couple of years now.
Yeah, damn.
2 years. But yeah, last thing is Revice, episode 26, which I will say is really hard to discuss the positives of without spoilers, and it's easy to discuss the negatives without spoilers.
That seems like a fair description.
So I do want to talk. This is something I do want to talk a little bit about, just because I do think there are plenty of positive things to say that are important to say about because of how it ties into the show. So I am going to suggest spoilers are something to be aware of right now. And I don't usually... I try to avoid spoilers in general, especially with, like, ongoing shows that go on for a year. But this is something I want to say. So the weaknesses of this ultimately come down to Daiji.
But you've mentioned the issues of him being just kind of there for a while now, and he certainly still feels like it. They were kind of trying to tie it up.
Yeah, like, which is really obvious when some of the stronger bits are given to Kagero, who's played by the same guy.
Yeah, I kind of wish Daiji had lost. I like Kagero. Yeah. I think he acts better as Kagero, which is slightly over the top, but I think he does a better job doing Kagero than he does Daiji. Yeah, Daiji's really boring, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe just because of what happened at the end with the fusion, maybe he's going to be a bit more Kagero going forward, which I think would be interesting.
Sure, yeah.
Because I would also say, like, if Kagero isn't back in this series, he'll be back in one of the movies, because that is such a, he'll be back debt. That is such a he'll be back debt. Because he basically just, like, bursts into feathers and gets absorbed. Because he can't get rid of him, because you have to have some sort of demon connection for him to transform.
Yes.
So, he's in there somewhere. He's dead until we need him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think Daiji is such an underdeveloped character because because of how this writer writes, which is he gives characters prominent arcs and then he moves on to the next character, which has worked really well for stuff like Sakura and Hiromi, because they have their focus things, but they're always there and always doing something.
Yeah.
And it works with Ikki because he's the main character. Daiji has had that. The problem Daiji has, he never had that, because Kagero had that. Daiji was unconscious for most of that.
That's true.
And all of Daiji's characterization was given through Kagero and that. And then Daiji just got powers and hung around. And he's never really done a ton. He's definitely, like, I really like this series, but he's definitely, like, something I'd bring up as a weakness in a review show. So unfortunately, that comes across here because he doesn't really do a ton.
No.
He just sort of says some things that are really interesting and that I want to talk about in the positives, but he just is kind of there. And the fact that Sakura has a 2-minute scene that kicks the shit out of everything Daiji does in this emotionally, which wasn't even like one of Sakura's great scenes. It was just a pretty solid scene with her and Aguilera.
It feels like, again, they're kind of dangling the thread there, like they're going to do something. They're just not doing anything with them yet.
Yeah, and it again, we've said it before, it really feels like the writer's just like, I want it to be about her. Like, I don't want him as a secondary, I want her as a secondary, but they're making me do it.
Pretty much.
Which, do you know what I think is a fair enough thing? I also think, like, you gotta go with the punches. It's a way, like, I almost thought it was a different writer who wrote this, but I did check and it's like, no, it's the main guy.
Okay.
In fact, he's written almost every episode bar 2.
Well, that's good at least. I guess it's consistent.
Now, positives, I actually think they did some really interesting stuff here. This is mostly Kagero's episode. I think he did a good job of kind of highlighting how his personality differs from the other demons. Because what they pull here is something I wasn't expecting, which is Daiji flat out says, I hoped we'd become like Ikki and Vice. Or, Sakura and Lovekov, and it's just like, actually, no, we're not going to be that. I don't like you. I want to get rid of you.
They could change that into a writing thing of him being just tsundere, though, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially.
As I said, like, he will, if he comes back, it's definitely going to go in the, like, he'll either come back for, like, a little bit and be, like, the dark force helping you, and it's just like, I didn't want to, but here I am kind of thing.
I'd also say there's a reason why he didn't say, like, like, my sister in love, because they haven't done anything with that relationship. Nothing.
No, because, like, Lovekov is an enjoyable joke.
Yeah, there's nothing to it. I would have thought they would have had like a little scene where it's like, oh, so how are you getting on with her? And maybe it just has like a flashback of her like maybe like summoning her just to hug her in bed at night, just to sleep with her.
They did say, is she acting up, and then cut to her just spinning in place.
Yeah.
Which is like very nice. But I like that. What I like the ATIP, because like the trope is you redeem the demon, or the trope is you're the hero and your mercy, and he's convinced by your mercy or something like that.
Yeah.
And when he has a minute where you have they've never really done this, where like they instead of cracking breaking the mask, they cave in the mask,
which makes sense because he's not got a body. So
yeah, like, which I thought was a really interesting visual.
Yeah, it looked nice,
and it was physical as well, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, nice. Definitely.
But as he's falling, they do the like, Daiji is clearly conflicted about Kaguro dying because it's literally a part of him.
Yeah.
So he catches him, and Kaguro says like, you should be more ruthless. And the normal thing is to like, no, I'm not that guy. And Daiji just goes, okay. No, yeah, you're right, and lets him drop.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. Very rarely do you see that particular trope undermined.
It's true.
And like,
it's only a small scene, but there was something to it, yeah.
And like Kaguro ultimately like lets him have the puts the vice stamp in to give him the power up to Holy Life. I think I might have reshot that scene because it looked like he didn't get it in the driver first time. No, he didn't. Like maybe reshoot that. Yeah, but it's again not really framed as like, I accept you, man. It's like, that's how it went. Yeah. Later. And like I said, I'm quite convinced he'll be back at some point or another, but I like him more than Daiji, and I kind of wish he was the one sticking around for a while. We also have, like, Vale's gone back to Olteka, and is basically making him stronger. Like, he's letting more of himself out, so Demons is now stronger. Which feels a bit like, okay, so it's just a power for the sake of it being more powerful. Yeah, which I don't mind, because narratively, it makes sense to me. Like, he was using him, he tried to go back to his original host, it didn't work, so he's like, okay, I need this guy to be a bit more on my level. If they do it again, I'm calling bullshit. Yeah, it feels a little bit to me, a little bit too much like Frieza. Like, this isn't my final form. It's like, okay, well, why aren't you using it? Yeah, especially when he wants that family dead. Yeah, he wants that family really dead. We also find out a bit of Genta's backstory, which was kind of interesting.
Oh,
he's getting a
Junpei?
Mini. Junpei, yes, he's getting a full mini. I think it's coming out at the end of the month.
Oh, that makes sense. Like a prequel, like 3 episodes or something. Yeah, it's going to just kind of like the Rogue mini and everything else, where it's like, oh god, this is going to be super bloody. But so yeah, I would say this, and then we get Holy Live as well, which is the upgrade form, the crow themed upgrade form, who is also an angel because holy, which looks a lot better in motion. Yes, than it did in promo. Still not a suit I'd say is my favorite, but really does work in things. So, and I hate the jingle. I hate the jingle so much, but I am definitely interested to see, like, beyond like having big angel wings, what's the power set? He can fly. Presumably. No, he can. He flew across the arena for a bit, and his wings protected him. Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. That's what his powers will be. Bird power. My flap. Yeah. I do flappy flap. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, and yeah, no, it's a conflict I wish the other half of it had better build up. Yeah. It feels a little lost in a story I think is pretty tight and heading in a fairly easily trackable direction. It
feels a little lost. Also, I really hope they get rid of like Vice possessing Icky thing soon, because it is kind of highlighting to me that
He
the
can't
actor
do
doesn't
it.
have the range.
No.
And Vice is barely in this episode, and I like Vice. So, like, Vice's big moment here is when they transform and he calls Vale-Chan, which is... Vale's like his dad, in a way.
I guess.
So, that's just rude.
Do you think, now that the Daiji stuff's been put to bed, he's going to become even more, like, irrelevant?
Let's see what I would do. I would say, like, and now Daiji is basically a full combination of the two of them, and he's becoming, like, more ruthless. That's how I play it. I think he will probably have it, like, okay, cool, moving on. Because, like, they've got the new Vice stamp already hinted at, which is presumably going to be the one that separates Icky and Vice again.
Yes, yeah.
Hey, the doctor lady was back. I wasn't expecting her.
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
weirdly, George got character development in this, which caught me off guard.
Kinda, yeah.
Which was just like, oh, hang on. You seem to give a shit all of a sudden.
Well, about her.
Yeah, and like Daiji, he doesn't like the idea of Daiji dying.
Yeah, it seemed a little weird, because for the most part, he's very much been science, fuck everything else, haha.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did seem a little bit, maybe, I don't want to say out of character, because that seems a bit too harsh, but it seemed weird.
It seemed like, okay, cool, what's his other angle?
Yeah.
That's how and it also, like, highlighted there's a bit of conflict between him and the leader of Phoenix, because Phoenix guy was like, yeah, sure, we'll use Kagura, because I'm actually evil. Did you know? Did you guess? I'm evil.
I think he's a really bad actor.
I think,
or at least the
acting to play the character of Ham,
yes.
like Ham villain.
Yeah,
and in a show that's actually pretty, they go for fairly nuanced villains in this. Like, Old Tekka has levels. Like, his level is I'm a dickhead to another level of dickhead.
Yeah,
but he's well played that way.
Yeah, the other guy is just a pantomime villain.
Yeah, having a pantomime villain going like, what do you mean you think I ate the baby? I didn't eat the baby.
I mean, he literally does the mwahahaha in one of the episodes, in one of the earlier episodes, which is like, all right, bro, I get it, you're evil, but can we just take it down a notch? You are still meant to be, like, pretending to, run this place in a legit way, surely?
Yeah, like, the last guy who was pretending to run this place kind of got the don't act evil thing down, and he was a massive fan.
Yeah, exactly.
So I, like, early days with his character, we'll see how he goes. But I would, again, this would be one of the weaker episodes for me. Still enjoyable for the most part, still watchable, still not taking any shine off the show for me. I'm actually enjoying it more and more as we've gotten into these darker arcs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it's highlighting for me, like, Daiji feels like he's going to be a bit like Vulcan in that, cool, you were there too.
Yay! I did things!
Like, and, he's like, weirdly enough, I think Garen almost hit that after episode 16-17 when he was less important. But then they brought in Mitsuki, and he was the only thing about Mitsuki's arc that wasn't grinding my teeth.
Yes.
Mitsuki's just awful. Tachibana-san. So yeah, I liked it. I just like... Anyway, I've talked enough. I've talked more in this episode than I have in months.
People are getting what they want. They're getting more Mikey.
Straight down your gob. Andy, what about you this week?
Well, I watched our summer rankings as well, which we've talked about. I caught up.
It.
I hated it. What a waste of time on an amazing show. On an amazing show. I caught up as of today. I caught up. I can't remember. Like, I must have seen like 6 episodes of Revice. It's good. Like you said, some of the episodes are a little bit on the... They're fine. Like, the bone structure of the comedian episode is, I don't care. Can we just focus on the main characters? It's like, no, we got to talk about the comedian stuff. It's like, ugh. But they do the interesting
not funny.
stuff. No. Not for us. Not from our perspective. They were telling jokes, and I was like, okay, he's just doing the face, though, isn't he? Can you tell us where we can find this stuff? Nope. Is that the joke? All right, fair enough. But yeah, the show is more interesting. It's just every now and again, you get these points where you're like, like the Daiji stuff. You go, okay. Hiromi, that was in. He's as on the back in the toy boxes. He is, because I think he could be back potentially.
Well, he's getting a mini coming out in mid-April.
Yeah,
which is the drama, the like full on like he's doing a drama called Dear Gaga, which is about him as
That's
Mama
right.
Gaga.
That's right. I remember you talking about that.
But I was actually assuming he'd come back and be the new, like, he'd get demons back and, like, gain power over it. But between Vale and the fact that Old Tekka has the driver again,
I think it could still happen. I think it could happen in a way of, like, Vale fuses back with Gifu and gets his own body and becomes, like, the main antagonist, and then the demon's driver is still usable for, I don't know, whatever writing reason you want to fluff it, and then he can use it again.
The thing I do is I'd say, like, okay, Hiromi comes back and his demon goes into it, because
sure, yeah, that
dead man, the dead mans get destroyed, you still have your demon.
Yeah, that could work.
So,
yeah.
And like you just say, like, why has he got the same voice? Shut up.
It's a bell. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, it's a belt powered by a monster. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, then again, like, if the Gaga thing is satisfying, it was just like that's the end of Hiromi's story, I'd be okay.
I think the problem is they've never shown a body, and as we know in TV, unless you show a body, and even then, if you show a body, it doesn't mean that the person's dead.
Yeah. Oh no, when he fell off the cliff, I was just like, so how big is the trampoline he's about to land on that will spring him out of the story?
Do you remember Mad Rogue? He fell off a bridge as well. He was fine.
He got shot.
Yeah, he got shot and fell off a bridge, and he was okay.
Yeah, but Hiromi's gonna be a robot.
It could happen. I do feel like at this point with the reveal of the dad, this feels like a weird, like a spiritual successor to like Kamen Rider. So Kamen Rider is the original Kamen Rider. That's his dad who gets transformed by an evil organization. He wants to use weapons and whatnot, and this is a sequel to that, which also has build elements to it, with the dad being evil and the many bottles and all that jazz. So to me, it seems like a weird combination of the first Kamen Rider show, elements of that, and build as well. And
at least some of that makes sense with the 50th anniversary. Yeah.
It's just weird that it's focusing on those two specifically. I will say that the new form for Vice and Ikki, even though they are combined, and I don't think, like you said, they pull it off desperately well, I think their new rider form is their best form they've had since their original forms. I have not liked any. I've made it quite vocal. I have not liked any of their suits, their upgrade forms. Now we finally have one where I'm like, there we go, that one works. And when I say that I haven't liked any of the previous ones, I think it's really specifically Ikki's Revice suits that don't work. Vices sometimes work, not all the time, but sometimes work. Ikki's never do, because they've always sticking to the color scheme, and I never think they've pulled it off well. Never. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot more. I look forward to see where it's going, and because I've caught up, I'm going to have to wait a lot longer now. Hooray.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have seen what the new... Because a bumper showed up in one of the Raw that I was watching, I do know what the new form looks like, and it's the one that's based off basically the printing color scheme, because I think they're running out of printing references and stamp references. Oh. And, oh no. Please, for the love of God, be like... All I can say is, please be like Holy Live and look a lot better in motion.
Oh.
Although you might like it, because it's incredibly European G2.
Oh, okay, all right, well, maybe.
It's like, oh god, my eyes.
Here's the thing, like, there's a way to do that kind of burning eye design, because you could argue that, like, Live could have been that, because it did have a lot of bright colours, and it was everywhere, but I think it was badly placed.
Absolutely.
That was the issue with Live, so
curious, but I would prefer, like, we didn't really... If it was my choice, I'd stick with Jack Revice for a while.
Same, yeah, that's okay. I'd be alright with that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of the reveals and whatnot as we go. Yeah, should be good. Yeah, was there anything else? No, just more Elden Ring. What a shock, right? Elden Ring, it's massive, and there's so much to do. Mahusive. Yeah, I think that's it, Mikey. I think that's it for the show this week. We did do comic recordings as well, but those can't go up just yet because we got to do the Patreon bit yet first.
We have an interview out with Steve Orlando, the writer of King Grimlock. That's come out publicly now. Yep,
that's out now. Up on all the places you'd expect. So, Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo. You can contact us on the Moonbase 2 on Twitter and on the Moonbase2@gmail.com. And Libsyn and Facebook and everywhere else. We've got a little announcement about the comic shows. In the comic shows, I won't do it here, but keep your eye out on that because we do want a bit of feedback on that. Already had some already on the idea, at least. So yeah, Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch as Decayed Andy, on YouTube as Decayed Andy, and you can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums. We're on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. We're on patreon.com/Moonbase2, and if you do $2 each month, you get the extended version of From the Files to Teletron 2, interviews early as well, and the Moonbase where we talk about non-transformery things in more detail. And we're also on the ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to go that way as well. But thank you, everybody, for coming on by. We hope you've had a good week, and we'll see you around next time. What?
What? I'm singing Walk On By.
Oh, well, until next week, everybody. We'll see you suckers next time. Bye-bye-bye. Yeah!